Phi Sigma Nu is the nation's first and largest Native American fraternity. It was founded February 13th, 1996 at Pembroke State University, which is currently UNC Pembroke.
UNCP itself is a historic American Indian college that was started in 1887, so it's not a coincidence that it was where the Native American fraternity was founded.
It was at an appropriate time because it hasn't been up until recently that Native people were actually able to attend college.
At the time, Native men had very low retention rates, so there was nothing keeping them at that university, especially when things got real tough. They didn't feel like they had a community to go back to.
Our founders saw that there was going to be a need to have an organization for Native men to come together and be able to bond and to be leaders for our people.
We were started by 7 men from a couple different tribes: the Lumbee, Halawasaponi, Waccamaw, Siouan.
We have 12 undergraduate chapters and 3 professional chapters all across the country. There are over 400 brothers who represent approximately 60 different tribal nations, and we also have brothers who aren't tribally affiliated. We have a lot of different principles related to Native culture that are really important to us: leadership, individuality, community, honesty, wisdom, pride, and unity.
So we were founded on Halloween 2003.
It was a few years after our Alpha chapter formed. Our Beta chapter is in NC State, and it was chartered in 2001.
And it was founded during the time where there weren't a lot of Native men on campus. One guy in particular, who's our current chief president, Derek Oxendine, he helped start the chapter here along with Dr. Dean Collins.
They saw there were other fraternities on campus. Most of them were historically African American or historically white fraternities and sororities, but there wasn't one specific to Native people. The chapter here was chartered, and it became our Gamma chapter in Halloween night 2003.
They had 2 members at first, then over the years we've grown. Then when I crossed Spring 17, it was the largest line that this chapter ever had, which was 7.
We're like the minority of the minorities, so there's not like a whole lot of us.
There's around 20 to 30 Native men, I think, on campus currently, and that's like undergraduate, graduate, everything.
We have a lot of Native women who do actually go to college, but for Native guys, it's hard to kind of encourage them and push them to go to universities. So having an organization like this in place that builds these connections between Native men, this kind of brotherhood, to like encourage them to stay on campus and push them to do better is really important. I think that during the time that we've been here, we've had a pretty decent impact on the community.
I guess one thing that confronts us is that not many people know who we are, which over my time here we have definitely changed, being more active, doing events on and off campus to bring our awareness to the greater Chapel Hill community. And we have done this by going to a local Boy Scouts group representing about North Carolina tribes in general, and we're actually about to go to a volunteer group presenting on Native life and history from past and to present.
But we always try to make sure that we give back to the community. That's a big thing for us, because that's a big thing for Native people in general, reciprocity.
Our main job is to help you become a better man for your community and be a better member of society.
A lot of Native men, when they come to campus, they don't really know what Phi Sigma Nu is, and the only idea of Greek life they have is what you see on the movie. This organization has caused me to rethink what I think of Greek life.
What people see about fraternities and sororities is like IFC and Panhellenic groups. They're the ones who kind of live in the houses and pledge, and we're very different. Organizations aren't as old. Some of these ones have been around for at least 100 years. Just have very different culture. How we do things is very different. How we go about our membership intake process.
If you fall into like these stereotypes of what Greek life is and you're a minority, then you're doubly stigmatized. So there's this kind of expectation that people have, you feel like people have for you, that you have to represent your people in the best way possible.
We have a national council, a president, vice president, we have committees. So that's another big difference that I see is it's not just for when you're in college. You're always brothers for life. You have brothers all across the country, and even after you graduate, we encourage people to strive to make the fraternity better.
We're not many on this campus. But joining the organization made me realize who I am as a Native man, a Lumbee and Cherokee man. It made me realize I do have a responsibility to people just like me, but also my own community as well.
I never realized how important it would end up being for me. I'm from Robeson County, Pembroke specifically, and there most of the population is Native people. You don't have to try to seek to understand more about your own culture. You're Native and that's it. There's a lot of different cultural activities that we participate in that I didn't know about before and are really important to me now.
You know, we take the concept of brotherhood very seriously. We're very used to being with our families and being with our communities, and a lot of people, Native people, go through a culture shock when they come to college. So having the organization here to become like a surrogate family and to have brothers here who you know you can turn to, it's nice to have just more than friends here.
We're able to bond over the single fact that we love this organization and we're willing to do things for our people and for our communities.
You know, that appreciation for my own culture and to see that, like, you know, that we're not a people of the past, we're people of the now has been really important.